But we only got lobby once. I'm hoping to see a bit more bomb site variety in this matchup here. What's the ban going to be? Thermite. So that already should make Garage more preferential, in theory. The second ban will be interesting here. Will we see an IQ ban, for example, to be able to play the Valkyrie?
You know what? So far in Latin America,
Glass?
5 play days, so a total of 20 matches, we have seen only one quote-unquote DLC map. Only Villa has been, well, you can count Border, but at this point it's pretty entrenched in everything.
Yeah.
Villa is the only variety that we've had. Otherwise, it's been a ton of consulates, a ton of clubhouses, a ton of Oregons and Borders. And, you know, that might set the stage for 6 Invitational, but again, it's Latin America. Who knows how things fare? But we'll see what FaZe Clan will try to hide, or maybe we won't see it, as we head to that tournament. Thermite, as mentioned, being banned. Echo being the final one. No surprises at all, the fact that the Valkyrie is banned off as well.
Yeah, well, they chose to ban the Ying, which meant, of course, they didn't have a IQ ban, so they weren't going to be as effective on Valkyrie anyway, so might as well take it out. Seemed like a good strategy. Maestro, though, going to be a big factor as Echo is banned instead. So I imagine that is going to be played on defense here. I'd be shocked if they don't pick it. It might be a 6th pick. Although this bomb site, they might not need it as much, but still, definitely could be something they could switch to. See if the 6 picks come out. But again, another Finka play potentially. But FaZe is the one who was playing it originally, and then a buck to a sledge switch. Not sure that's really going to do a whole lot, but no 6 picks coming out for the defense, so we actually will not see a Maestro. Interesting.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Always seems like a
Even though
little
it's
bit of a waste.
the Garage.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Maestro's a beast wherever you put him.
Very true, very true. If Maestro is available, why not play him? I really don't get it. There's a reason why he's actually one of the top picked operators for the region as well in defense. Yeah, I have to wonder, scratch my head.
Well, we'll probably see it in future rounds. It might just be this particular round they have a strategy they want to lead off with.
I'm not seeing any bulletproof cameras. Take a look at that, though.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, Exort here running the Mira. And, you know, what's the biggest problem with Mira? Well, the fact that she can get smoked off. And guess what FaZe are bringing? Not to Capitao, which is, in my opinion, a better smoke operator, especially when you're facing Miras, because you can easily remove her. Okay. But you still have the calls from the Dokkaebi, so definitely something to watch out for.
And nothing to really be able to do about smokes or the Dokkaebis. No mute jammer, no Jaegers, so definitely going to be somewhat effective for potentially a swift plant if they get in the right position, especially with the Finka on board. Smoke will, of course, still be a little bit of a problem, as we'll see 4s, which they are only likely to have the 2 from Bandit and Mira. So we'll see how that goes down. They're at least going to have 4 grenades on attack because they're going to have both Finka and Sledges, as well as they're going to have the remote breaches from Ash. And then smokes, and I would guess probably flashbangs or a claymore from Fauna.
Continue drone. There's one right front. Cameraman will ferry it into the projector room, and won't find anybody. So there's still someone on this floor. No, you can hear the T5 though going off. So definitely a lesion to look out for somewhere.
When the camera's watching drones, just always feels kind of funny. Well, this is the first call going out. That's really just to help make sure this roam clear is going to be effective. And it's not just about the people being around near it, it's the drones as well. The drones can also pick up the audio of that, which is something that can help you clear very quickly. If you hear no calls, you don't have to check all the corners. It's definitely something that can speed things up.
Located a bomb.
There's still the phone ringing. Is that the second one? Just going out again? That was...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I actually am not...
Well, there we go. You said I've made my calls. Now time to send in the Grim Reaper.
All right, and there we go. This is what we were talking about before. The Finka using her LMG instead of the spear.
Time to hack some cams.
Yep.
Accessing their cam feeds.
Neat cam feeds.
And accessed.
This is not how hacking goes. You're a programmer, right?
That's exactly how it works. It's just harder to understand because it's in another language.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you speak other languages, but they're all,
They're all for computers.
Yeah, well, Panico will come in and just get very close up to his opponents. As you see the SMG-12 held by the Dokkaebi in hand. Try to slow peek around.
Oh, busted.
No. The flash thrown in. No, that's the Ash, actually. Excuse me there. We'll finally get the kill. Panico going down. Cameraman, well done there. Was much more ammunition in the magazine.
We'll
have to push in. I believe that was a mirror window as well, set up right on the front of the garage. The shotgun to the side of the Ash. GDN will get one. Hugzord with the second. 3v1 though, all up to the smoke, but he turns around and Mav from above. We'll find him through the hatch. FaZe Clan will put the first round on the board.
That was a little bit sloppy for how much time they spent setting that up and then the phone calls. They did take map control though. It's just their ability to execute seemed a little bit weaker in terms of they spent all their phone calls upstairs where they weren't necessarily leading to picks, except for the one that the Dokkaebi got immediately after. But because of that, they didn't have much outside of some drones left to try and find the positioning on everyone left downstairs, which meant they kind of had to fight it out. You saw, for example, the shotgun kill on the cameraman, as he was already a little bit weak from the fight with Castle and then going through the smoke as well. It didn't really take much to down him. They are potentially bringing the same lineup again. Now, they don't have to change bomb sites, but they are going to. Mav going to 6th pick off to the Buck, so just back and forth to keep it interesting. But there's a case where then he can play a little bit more from below if he wants to, I suppose, as this is a top floor bomb site, although I'm not sure if he's thinking that they're going to replay Garage or if he's assuming they will be going up the top, but we are back still into the console and Garage only pattern that we saw earlier.
Yep. And I really hope we don't really stick to that all the time, right? It's just, there has to be variety. Remember, you're going to play this internationally as well, and just limiting yourself, it might be a strategy like, hey, they're saving strats, they want to play the other sides, but at the same time, if you're kind of starting to lose control, the whole saving strats thing doesn't really become an excuse now, does it?
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
We'll see. So far, they are continuing with this Finka trend here, so it's pretty much the same lineup outside of switching the Buck and the Sledge. It was not a bad lineup. It's just, again, they needed to do a little bit better job in the latter part of this. They started to run out of time pretty quickly. Had they not been able to win that gunfight against the last defender, they might have actually had trouble going for that plant. Although I suppose that as soon as it went to 0 and the round didn't end, then the defender would have had to come out hunting. Would have potentially had the same effect. GDN playing an interesting position there. iBlacks, though, the first kill on Uniso. No Finka boost going to happen here. Adrenaline lost. And a good peek there.
It's a good start here for Black Dragons, recovering, at least trying to recover from the previous round. And taking admin with a solo player is definitely not a great thing. Definitely want more manpower to support a player in that position. And GDN, in the meantime, just sitting up close here. He can use the wall behind him. I believe it's reinforced. I'm not sure if the one hit the stairs isn't. No. So you see the bulletproof camera behind GDN, but easily taken down by Moringa. Going in for the reload on the Habana. Obviously, bringing the Habana is always a much better choice on this map. You know, hopefully we'll get to talk more about it with actual, you know, stuff in front of you to be like, hey, here's why you have the Habana over anything else. Hugs are fairly low in HP as well. I think it was a shot from cameraman there.
Ooh, that actually worked. That was a close one, too. He started running away. You could see the silhouette going for the sprint.
And trying to heal up Hugzord. There you go. Here's the backup to pretty high up health. iBlacks will find one, but they know there's a player outside. Hugzord somehow staying alive in the back, but Moringa will find iBlacks and take him out. 2 versus 3, but Mav is on half health. Goes on in. Bulletproof camera will get meleeed by Moringa, and Hugzord again from the hallway will find the kill. All up to Mav as Panico has maneuvered himself to a better position in the bathroom, excuse me. 2 different places. And he'll find the kill right,
wow.
Taps there on the yellow stairs.
I gotta say, the early pick by the Jaeger was definitely a big factor in that, but then the ability for Hugzord to play so effectively around that bathroom with the mirror window, that really made a difference that round, especially the C4 landing. That really started to slow them down. The bulletproof camera, while it didn't last as long as they would have liked, also effective in delaying their ability to take control of the room and do something with it. Just so much focus on repelling in and trying to do something with that really cost them. because they didn't really do a lot of bottom-up kind of attack control to at least get some picks on that, try and get a little bit more to play with, use the buck from below and do some kind of damage to at least force them out of position. So it just came down to them trying to take a lot of gunfights. It seemed like Black Dragons were in a lot more control of that time. Now the Maestro is going to be coming out here from Hugzord this time for lobby defense, so we are not going to continue the pattern. They're going to go to all 3 bomb sites here. Who knows, potentially a 4th, but doubtful. Most teams rarely want to have 4 different bomb site strategies they have to use, but personally, I think if you're mostly playing the same maps over and over again anyways, it's definitely worth having strats for all 4. As I mean, I'd say all 4 are viable, but some more viable than others, as Teller's Archives is still a bit tricky. It is definitely not a perfect bomb site, but I think we'll see a bit more of it over time.
Yeah, 100%.
Unfortunately, this drone, man, just evade Panico. He's going to have to give up on it at some point, as this is burning a lot of his time. He doesn't have any more setup he has to do, but still needs to get into whatever position he's going to play. Looks like we could have at least 2 playing up in admin. Cameraman already boosted. They're just trying to get up and going fast here.
Ion at least got some reinforced walls next to him. The calls will come in from the Dokkaebi. Lots of damage being done here. GDN rushes in as he gets 1 kill on Moringa, but Hugzord from the back will finish off Yuna. Now the Finka eliminated from play, but Cameraman is ready to refrag. This is pretty darn heavy. They're all dropping into the site trying to go for a plant, but what's the biggest problem? Nobody's cleared the top floor. Smoke will land right on a Mav, but Ion will drop in. He'll find one, make it a 2v3. Look at the amount of health left on FaZe Clan. Not much left. Have to face off against this. Ion will get dropped. Shotgun in hand as GTN will move in. They should be able to hear him here, but that shotgun should be more than enough to dispatch players to get up too close. Is there somebody watching the diffuser in the meantime? I'll go for the long shot. The buck's been taken down. Cameraman, last man alive. But where is he? Where is the Ash? He just moves on in. He's going to have to protect the diffuser, but he's sprinting. He gets 1 kill. Can he find the second? No, iBlax is ready for him. And that's the diffuser held by the Black Dragons. Shut him down. That was fairly chaotic.
It was a semi-effective rush strat. They managed to get the defuse down, but they lost too many people in gunfights on the way in. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, not having top floor control ultimately kind of cost them, because the stairs are right there. There's a hatch and stairs, not to mention potentially floor that can be opened. Cameraman, unfortunately, leaving the game means we'll very likely have a rehost
I'm
here.
not sure why we're having rehosts, like literally every single game in Latin America.
Just to, you know, keep things interesting, mix it up a little. Nope, he's
back.
returned,
Yes!
so he looks like, as long as he can pick an operator in time. There we go. So
just leave it up to random.
yeah, that'll just pick Ash for you anyways. Back down to Garage we go. So they have actually succeeded on the other 2 bomb sites, so they do need to go to a 3rd, which Garage makes sense. That was their primary anyways. So working out okay. Again, the back and forth between Buck and Sledge, which seems like Sledge is their go-to strategy for Garage, and they know it's going to be Garage, so makes sense.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
You can predict that, because we're not going to see other ones, right? Obviously, there was one on the defense downstairs and one upstairs, so or on the lobby and one on top of the console chamber. So it makes sense you'll go back to that Garage site, as I don't think we're gonna see server being played in Latin America. It's very possible that they're kind of leaving that whole strategy thing for.
Very likely, yeah. That's most likely to be saved for that.
I'm not sure if the site was played in VR6, and we'll have to check.
It could be experimented with there. Not necessarily, maybe not necessarily the same strat they would use at Invitational, but try just some ideas and see how they go.
Yeah. My heart pains me to the coaches that are preparing and watching so many to get ready.
It's even worse when you're there, because then you're really having like sleepless nights trying to catch up with everything that's gone on, because you don't know who you'll be phasing, because you start with group stages. You don't just go straight into semis.
I remember seeing Shas at these events, Invitational or at the Major. Let's just say he was
just delirious looking at some points.
More than the usual. Oh, they might rush, but no, Mav just breaking down the castle barricade, these castle walls. And Ion will take damage, but then fall back. Play close up to the stairs. Interesting that the Mira is in play, and you saw the second Mira window being set up upstairs in the bathroom. Definitely be used by iBlax here. Anybody that would like to help him out within that bathroom. Why? Because there's already castle barricades that are set up to protect it by the hallway.
Mav holding an angle actually pulls off of it. Now that gives them the opportunity to rotate the yellow stairs if they want to, because no coverage. Not that they would necessarily know that. There's not a good way unless you've got a camera outside to get a view on if anyone's hanging out there. But still, that will free up some movement potentially.
Gotta love the view.
Yeah.
That's her line.
Okay.
Well,
I put the dialogue off.
What? It's like the best part of it. Oh, no. You know, hearing the yelling of the castle like we had like a couple days ago, it's really hilarious. But Astro, there you go. He comes in, he spots the mirror window, and instantly fire has been thrown his way from Panico. So, gotta be very careful what you do here. Calls are in place, and Panico might just try to challenge the Ash on the opposite end, but Astro's gonna bring in an extra pair of eyes, or at least one eye. Hatch's gonna get open, so this should allow Panico to fall back.
Still could get shot during the rotation.
Here's one of them. And
there we go.
Panico's time is done. There we go. They wasted so much time. It's almost 2 minutes on the clock.
Well, we saw that happen last time on Consulate and still didn't result in a win.
We'll see barbed wire for Ion here, not a C4, which is what we usually see. FaZe Clan, again, bringing Moringa on the Habana. We'll see if Nav can find kills from above, as there's no Jaegers, so no ADSs to worry about. And Yuna watching the top floor just in case there's long range and long-term rotations. But, you know, nothing of that will be a problem. We'll see the second battery taken down, and Moringa will open up the wall in the garage. And I'm not sure how he opened it, either with 2 or 3 X-Kairos. You know, you can open it with 3 to have a wider way of entering, or you can use 2 with an extra one with an extra angle. 24 seconds on the clock. And this attack has to go. Adrenaline surge used by Yuna on the Finka. But nothing just yet. There we go. Smokes in. Cameraman will get the kill on Ion, the first one of the round, as that surge will finally go. Hugsword will turn around and watch the back flank. I'd like to find Cameraman and take him out, but it's GGN to fall by Yuna. Second kill for Map. C4 thrown in the back, and Hugsword will find Moringa. But there we go. He chases the back. Oh no. Dokkaebi's still alive, but not the rest of the Black Dragons. Unfortunately, Sword and Iblex will go down.
All he had to do was throw the C4 just slightly sooner, and they would have probably won that round.
If only there was a certain operator with a piece of camera that sees through smoke that actually is pretty okay at doing that. And I spy with my little eye.
The littlest of eyes.
A maestro.
Yep. Makes sense. They would bring that. Now, last time when they played up here, they had the bulletproof camera set up in the console office, which was somewhat useful. But they might want to go with an Evil Eye this time. It is, you cannot just melee an Evil Eye in that sense. Although, if they were actually bringing the sledge, they could take care of it that way. But it seems like that would be a bit more effective than just putting a bulletproof camera in a position where they can destroy it once they're smoking.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
They are sticking with Sfinka, though. Definitely feeling like it's important, despite the fact that it's only worked 1 out of the 3 times they've attacked. Or I guess, no, I'm sorry, 2 of the 4 times. So 50-50. That's the power you get, is you press the global button and it flips the coin.
Alrighty. Still setting up with the mirror, and of course the biggest change, the Maestro here. And still, Black Dragons are also bringing a dock.
Yeah.
Panico will, I'm actually not sure, but we cannot really say.
Likely have the bulletproof.
Likely has the bulletproof camera. It seems, who would have thought that information is a very important thing for defenders and attackers alike, which is why you have 3 operators.
Well, it makes sense, because you have Maestro bringing the barbed wire, so then you can have Doc bring the bulletproof camera, rather than Doc bringing the barbed wire.
A very intelligent observation there, my good sir.
Good allotment of resources then, so you don't really lose the barbed wire.
Fairly eloquent of you. And Yuna going all the way up to the roof. And we'll see if... well, he's fired off quite a few rounds early on, but it's fine. Maybe there was a run out that he was expecting. There you go. Quick reload on the LMG. The paratrooper version of the PKP Pechenek.
Bomb located by attackers.
It's probably going to set up by the skylight here, as you already see the drone being thrown on down, and Moringa. See, it's a nice spawn there. Got Vault, he's waiting for the information, so he does not get shot, and because there's nobody to contest within the yellow stairs, that wall will be distinctly and very swiftly destroyed. And no, Hugsword peeks out. Astro even running the angle grip on his DMR.
You see what I mean about trying to use the DMR to open a wood barricade?
It's like, this is an entire map. It's a 308. What is it not done?
Yeah. Either way, good kill though. I like the way that they pressured that from above. Now we used to see the old thermite kind of opening that wall trick, you know, back in year 1. I like the idea of just adapting to opening up part of it with the X-Kairos.
Continuing and spots the drop. That's a huge one there. GDN and 2 players have gone down. Unfortunately for Black Dragons, that rotation has been spotted. But again, it is to allow BD to come in from the bottom floor up. This will allow FaZe to fight up close, and actually Panico will take down Cameraman the instant he comes in. An interesting maneuver from Yuna as he moves around to Admin Astro. Oh no! Panico 2 kills on the run at Yuna will find 1, but find himself on the lonesome. The fuser's already been planted, and they're going to try to destroy that one. He goes in for the boost. Might just want to fire all the way down. He'll find 1 kill. There's 2 more left. He'll find the other. No, it's GDN. The SMG-11 will win it all out. Close one there for Yuna again, but Black Dragons. 1 more round on the board. This is starting to look a lot like not Chris Bond, a.k.a. game number 2 for the Defenders win.
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying earlier, it seems like there's definitely a possibility this could be a bit more, or a bit closer than we would have expected. Certainly the case where Black Dragons are playing a very effective defense. It's just a question of how they'll play on that offense, but to see them in the point lead against FaZe here is impressive. I mean, it's only a 1-point lead, but I don't know, this, the attacks that they're sticking to, the operators they're playing, aren't seeming to work out so great later in the round. They're working good early to try and get some control, but then they're just not really turning into great executes. They are at least being effective in getting the plant down often, but that's about it, unfortunately. Seems like Black Dragon's just not great at stopping the plant from going down, but going to Archives Tellers after all, and then Glass sneak in there.
So we will see Archives Tellers. We'll see how, I really want to contrast this to how the site is played mostly in Europe. But again, if you really want to learn how this site is supposed to be played on the defense, I recommend that you go back and watch matches from Chaos, from Millennium back in the day, now this team, but also from Mocket and Team Secret. All 4 teams really have this, you know, a bit under control. Hugzord will actually open up the hatch on the side. So that's definitely something you have to watch out for. If FaZe decide to go for a rush, they have 4 smokes, well, actually no, 6 smokes available on the team. So a plant and just sitting back and watching it is definitely a viable strategy.
Yeah, but you got to imagine the Glass was not intended for this attack.
No.
So that'll have to be on Yuna to adapt that, as he will not be bringing that Finka for once.
He's a pretty flexible player.
Yeah, I have faith in him to be able to do it, but at the same time, like, this was definitely not the intended site to be attacking.
It's definitely not the best case scenario, but there you go. At least they have some sort of very strong post-point operator. Definitely keep that in mind, and of course, all the utility that comes with it and for it in order to support it. So they'll continue on to drone and gather information around Piano and the rest of the sites. Nothing spotted in there. Now the interesting part will be, will they go for a take from Garage, or will they opt out of this to move in from Visa side?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's just Garage is going to be a bit easier for the defenders to defend, whereas the Visa side could be a little tricky. But coming from both is obviously ideal, especially with the Glass. He could take advantage of the range in the Garage, where the more close-up operators, especially the Ash, maybe even the Dokkaebi, go and push in from the other side. Oh, there we go. There goes the window.
There goes the neighborhood. Hugzord will have to fall back. The Maestro. And that's the rear window opened. So now that's, I believe, all X-Kairos being used up. There you go. None left for Moringa. And it seems like the attack will come through into the server area. But again, the hatches, they are perfectly set for all of this. And you can see there's a lot of shotgun holes that have been already pre-placed to allow for fire from above. So you still have to have some sort of top floor control and not just rely on, yet again, it's just so long.
I'm so serious. It's really difficult.
Yeah, but you also cannot rely on, hey, we have a Glass, we instantly win. That's not how it works. You still need to take in, you still need to set up before you go in for this server take, because you're worried about potential fire from above as well. Now, fortunately, for FaZe Clan. At least they can rejoice in the fact that there's not many open walls they'll have to deal with, but they will have to deal with Nitro Cell and a pulse relaying information in the back of the servers. Of course, the long-range potential of the Maestro.
Definitely possible to fight it from far, but that's what they've got the glass for, is to be able to fight that from a long distance as well. So it could end up in an ACOG versus ACOG right here as they are setting up the push right here. However, he's going to give away his position. Now smokes are going to have to come out soon. Phone calls meant to delay, and Yuna does exactly what I said he would.
Well done there, but GDN will find the kill on cameraman. They'll have to watch for him as he's getting the kill from above. Just getting ready for the push, and the C4 unfortunately will miss. Too far away. Panico being taken down as Ion will finish off. Astro GTN's on the floor, and it's only Ion and iBlack's left alive actually in this one. They will be able to pick up the Mira, but utility's already been used up. They all line up here, but Yuna's been already taken down. And they need to plant the diffuser, unfortunately, it's Ion. Everybody's in the back, and they're being fired upon by those crossbow bolts from the Capitao, but it's just not enough. It's not even enough to kill the player in the back. Mira still struggling, squirming on the floor. Getting the Legion doing the work, and the T5's high rate of fire actually wins it out. Black Dragons 4-2 as now we switch the sides, and FaZe Clan will have to play the defense. Is this gonna be another tie?
Well, this will be interesting because it definitely BD in this case took a lot more rounds than you would have expected on defense. They had pretty good defenses, but I think some of that was just also FaZe's attacks were not the greatest in terms of time management, in terms of using their map control to get set up for the actual executes a bit more efficiently. They might have also been losing drones too early on the roam clears and then not having any for the push, at least not enough intel to push on them at the end. So because of that, just a bit sloppy as the other ones, although they probably didn't expect that to be the bomb site for the last one. But still, that was well played by Black Dragons. Definitely caught them all by surprise. Hugzord actually going to be bringing the Blackbeard, interestingly enough. Now, I don't know if they were expecting it to be downstairs or the top floor, but usually it has, you know, most of the time here been one or the other. We did see all 4 bomb sites, though, I have to say, from BD, which is impressive.
They are fairly flexible when it comes to those sites, and it's, you know, stark contrast to what we saw in our earlier match of the evening.
Yeah, and Garage was the only one they didn't win. So we'll see, though, how this goes for FaZe. But FaZe really need to come back. They are getting dangerously close to that match point. And again, yeah, to that possible tie would be definitely a not ideal scenario for FaZe, who are, in theory, doing much better than Black Dragons this season, but this seems to be a bit more of surprises today. A lot of utility being dedicated to that bathroom, though. You've got mute jammers, you've got 2 ADSs, you've got a mirror window. They do not want to lose that bathroom.
And here's the thing, I really don't want to like push FaZe Clan out of this match just yet. Not only because of the pedigree and being FaZe Clan, but on top of that, the fact that last week on Bank when they faced Red Devils had 4 defensive rounds.
Yeah.
And only 2 attacking ones from FaZe, which is exactly what we have here. And then, you know, FaZe got 5 rounds in the defense pretty easily on Bank, which is not too dissimilar to Consulate.
Very true. But we'll see. Who knows? Black Dragons may have studied that.
Ooh. Very true. Well, Panic will continue on to drone. You see the reinforced walls and everything utility-wise set up for FaZe. Very similar to what we saw Black Dragons doing as well. Big difference here for BD, at least on the attack, is they're bringing Hugzord on that Blackbeard, and you know, FaZe Clan obviously are going for a lot of heavy utility operators. Yeah, sure, they have the Jaeger, but there's the Mute. They also have the Pulse, so 2 C4s, 3 C4s actually by Cameraman.
A single Thatcher could take out both ADSs and the Mute Jammer inside the bathroom, and that would open it up for Habana to be able to open this mirror window. That would push him out pretty quickly here if they decide to go that route. We'll see. But shotgun play again, of course, holding angles with this. Definitely the superior way to be playing most of the time if you can get them to push into you. Obviously, you don't want to go running out with that, but Cameraman, the old standing on top of the car trick. And there we go. There's the X-Kairos doing their job. And that's going to force him out here soon unless he really wants to play this suicide mission style. But it seems like he's like, you know what, we dedicated a lot of resources here. Okay, never mind, I'll go.
Yeah, there we go. There's
smart choice.
Again, it's very similar to what BD were doing on the defense, right? They pretty much evac at the exact same time and no damage done to any one of the players.
That's the important thing, is no damage done. There really needs to be a bit faster execute in terms of taking the bathroom. Since you're not doing any damage anyways, you need to force him out of it so you can take control there. But Astro being able to sit on the top floor here, that's the biggest worry for Black Dragons right now.
Yeah, a bit of damage done to the Mira as the Buck of Ion was able to open up a bit of those floorboards. All FaZe will stack up here in the side room, but Yuna just still checking. You know, they have to deal with Black Dragons only bringing one hard breacher, but Astro in the meantime goes in for the flank. Get one kill out of it. 20 seconds left on the clock. This is all going FaZe Clan's way. Again, you're the defense. You're the ones in control, and how do you melt a Blackbeard with a shield? Well, you just go for a Mira. The Vector sprays on through. GDN and Panico will get a kill each. Diffuser's being set in the back. Azuna will move in at the flank. Nobody in the yellow stairs to deny this Maestro coming in, but GDN and Iblax will find a kill each, and it's all falling apart at the seams for FaZe Clan as GDN pulls out the bearing 9 and finds the last kill. Black Dragons.
Ooh,
good boy.
Lead. They're coming in hot here. That was, I mean, it got a little tense at the end. They ran very low on time. Surprising they were able to actually execute on that, but it just came down to angles. You saw the Mira try and play both sides, not hitting any of those. The C4 whiffing, the Maestro just barely missing the Thermite running away. Just constant missed timings from FaZe is what cost them in that round. They just were not in good position. They thought they had a good position by having the Astro up top taking care of one of them. Also, him missing his shots with timing on the yellow stairs just came down to timing, into angles. Completely not working out. But that puts Black Dragons pretty close to match point here. Definitely looking good for them. And at least potentially securing that 1 point. I think there's a good chance they secure the 1 point. And we could have another tie, if not a win by Black Dragons. Gotta imagine FaZe feeling a little bit pressured here at the moment in terms of how much of a lead that they've lost. And while they're only 1 round into the defense now in the second round, it's a tough spot to be in. But they're going to try console instead, not try and repeat garage, which is something we've seen a bit today is in terms of teams. Some of them wanting to stick sites, but quite a few of them also just switching off and then wanting to come back to it later.
All right, Maestro will start to set things up now. He's running the deployable shield. So that's something to mind. We saw Doc being played by Black Dragons when they're in that situation. You mentioned how, you know, he can run the deployable shield, or, you know, he can just go for all the barbed wire and then have the Doc being very comfortable in just bringing that that camera as well. So a lot of ways to play it, but FaZe Clan in this time will opt for just securing things with the Mira and the Maestro, which already is a ton of information for you to try to, you know, handle and take in. And Cameraman will just be setting up his castle barricades. Moringa should be fighting up close to see the barbed wire and even hear it upstairs, even shooting the side of the wall. I'm not sure about that decision.
Well, that could be an angle for him to be able to fight into the room, assuming they don't keep control of Skylight, because usually they're not going to be sitting on Skylight late round when they're trying to go for plant. So that's not a terrible plan at all. In this case, they do spot it though, so they are going to be prepared for that. Smokes will of course help cover for that. But the Blackbeard is really going to be the biggest concern on that window.
Oh man,
that is a huge waste of utility.
And did he throw another one? I swear.
Are you going to hit him if he did?
I swear.
Panico trying to play the ankles.
There it is. Kobe. Ion will find the second one. I think they were just burning the ADS there. I think the Blackbeard came in and just chucked in. I would never doubt Black Dragons.
You almost did there. You thought about it.
Nope, not even. There's no proof. Late Mira set up here from Yuna as they're just trying to figure out where the Dragons will be coming from, and they're going to drag themselves into this offensive from the bathroom window side.
They have to be super careful watching that yellow stairs run out, though.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, well, since the smoke is dead, it's going to be fairly difficult. At least the deployable shield here will give Mav some sort of safety, right?
Yeah, but they can start dropping hatches and then go around for the rotate, which is what Astro might even be thinking about doing. Yuna is at least trying to fight down. But if they can successfully rotate around, as Astro is starting to set up for, he only has one more person on his floor to contend with. And then the yellow stairs run out starts to become a possibility against Hugzord, who's actually rotating off.
Now, less than a minute left on the clock. So you see GDN and the Habana here trying to catch the Jaeger off. But Astro is just still moving around. He's going to keep control of that lobby and at least burn a lot of time. Iblax as well watching the yellow stairs by the garage side. And I'm not sure who's playing that position, possibly Cameraman. Oh no, Astro takes no damage actually from the back. Is being pushed by 2 players. Unfortunately, he was unsure of how many players were coming up that location. And both him and his teammate will go down. 25 seconds on the clock. Very similar to the previous round. The only difference here is that there's only 2 alive for FaZe Clan, as Mav launching in. From the top of the hallway, the Dokkaebi trying to move up, but Mav will just spray in all of his magazine. He'll find one, and Yuna will connect with the second. 2v2, as you saw the Dokkaebi very swiftly moving into the opposite end. He'll try to use the smoke as cover, but Yuna will get 1, will get 2, and wonderfully done by FaZe. They'll take round number 8, as it seems like today our games are just taking it all in.
That was very close to being a Black Dragons win.
Oh yes,
it's just
at all.
The misplay by the Dokkaebi in terms of not using the reinforced wall for the plant and getting a little too exposed to that soft wall there definitely gave it up, unfortunately, to the Mirror, which made swift work of that. I mean, overall, that was a good execute by Black Dragons. It was just time management working against them. They played very well in terms of getting a lot of kills and really softening up the site. Only problem was it gets a little predictable when it gets down to the last seconds there, and he was smart in terms of rushing back towards the back to go set up for that plant. But unfortunately, that burns a lot of time, and the smoke starts to fade at some point, in which case, if he's still left planting, then the Mirror will just rotate around the reinforced wall and get an easy kill mid-plant. So I can understand what he was trying to do potentially, but either way, it might have almost just been better to try and go for the plant at the desk even, just to start getting it down early in case you have to get off. But either way, we'll see if their time management's a little bit better this time. They are going to bring the Blackbeard again, which this time they got to imagine is going to be going back down to garage or down to lobby. So either way, they're planning for that as they know it can't be console since they just won that on defense. I mean, I suppose it could be Teller's Archives, you know, which we did get surprised with. 10 kills each for GDN and Yuna, though. Good play from them. We actually I didn't feel like we'd seen a lot of highlight plays from GDN, but he's obviously been racking them up, managing to get to those double digits.
Well,
5 seconds remaining.
We'll see if FaZe Clan can power their way back into this game. It's definitely a possibility. We've seen it, and again, you know, the one round that Black Dragons have been able to take so far on the attack might actually turn the whole thing around. Now, garage setup with a Black Mirror.
Now you see me.
It's actually pretty nice, especially when you're expecting a Habano.
We'll see if that ends up working out for them, but they don't have a Thermite to go with it, so if they want to open up the garage, good chance they're going to have to use the X-Kairos mostly on the garage.
Of course, it should be easily popped by any player. Like here, if Ion just moves in and takes control of Piano, well, suddenly the whole thing just falls apart, right? But like, still, it is a good way to delay things, and I wonder if Moringa has set up his Moot Jammers in and around that garage wall. Of course, remind you that the Moot Jammers, if you set them on that workbench right below the yellow stairs,
yeah,
you just have complete control.
There's a couple of spots down there that work upwards.
So, yeah, keep that in mind. And Hugzord, in the meantime, just take control of top floor. It's a top-down clear, very standard, but there's 2 players, well, was 2 players in the projector room. Already saw one of them dropping down to the lobby. There's no one to catch him from the attacking side. And I wonder if the second one had already dropped as well. Yes, he did. So there you go. Pretty safe. Burning off as much time as possible as you hear the screams of the poor Dokkaebi upstairs.
Yeah, Gumine's doing their work.
Dokkaebi. Yes. There's like a way to say it.
A way. A special technique.
Life finds it.
I'm not sure if Jeff Goldblum's who I would trust for pronunciation, but... So things seem to have slowed down a bit here. Not a lot of push coming, but they're actually setting up possibly to push downstairs through that hatch. Could be interesting. Blackbeard doing what he does, holding angles.
And, you know, the decision is always, do I bring the SR-25 or the Mark 17? Really, when you're looking at moving around, the Mark 17 is a better choice, but the SR-25 is definitely there, and there's no reason to not run it if you'd like to. Both are pretty darn good. Well, meantime, the Dokkaebi has moved in from the server side and has taken control of the...
Ooh, not a good start.
That's not how...
He might have been shotgunning right as Astro dropped the hatch. Would be my guess.
Well, cameraman will take more damage. That mirror window still has not been taken out. Now what you can do is pop the mirror window and use it to your advantage to chuck a C4 outside, which is why I was saying it is so good. It denies the Mira. Grenade being thrown in. It does no damage to Moringa. C4 does not connect, but the second bit of grenades is going to get launched in. He'll find... No! Hugzer drops on the floor, finds one kill. Can't get the second. And his cameraman is still somehow alive. Yuna will spray in. This whole attack is not working. Hugzer will find one, and Yuna with the reply, but there's no time left. And FaZe, even with a huge mistake, they bring it back. 5-4 advantage for BD, but FaZe are not phased just yet.
They're losing fight after fight after fight and only winning on time. It's just strictly down to the fact that BD are not able to plant in time.
But they're saving strats.
They're saving something, and it's the KD at this point, are trying to at least. It's just... We'll see how lobby goes though, but they are actually bringing this back. Slowly but surely, just one delayed round at a time. It's interesting. I mean, the Maestro alone is definitely doing a lot in terms of being able to hold them off. Just his ability to spray suppressing fire makes it so they're not able to push him aggressively. But also the shotgun play that we saw a couple times now from the refrigerator onto the door at the cafeteria from Visa Stairs is definitely working out pretty well. It didn't work out completely because he was against 3, but they had spent so much utility just trying to get him down. It was somewhat worth it in terms of delay. I mean, had they been able to kill him earlier, they might have been able to get set up for a plant in time, but they also, again, didn't open the entire garage. Remember I was talking about how they, you know, okay, we have the X-Kairos to be able to take out the mirror windows, but we have to use some on this garage. They didn't afford themselves the ability to push through the garage, had to instead focus on cafeteria side, and that's really what cost them time-wise.
All right, we'll see if this setup will actually work out for FaZe Clan, as they're defending the lobby side, which also means that you have to defend the top floor. And as you would say, it's interesting, it's alluring, it's compelling, you know, it's thought-provoking and unusual. But yeah, we'll see how this ends up rolling for the clan. Smav is bringing that dock, so it just gives them a bit more viability when it comes to dealing with smokes, which they're not too plentiful for BD, but still, at least can deal with eye blasts once the plant comes down. And he still has the bulletproof camera in his back pocket.
Surprised he hasn't set that up yet, unless he's just trying to wait till after they drone so that they're not prepared for it, because he knows those smokes aren't going to come out, especially with BD's time management, till the last 20 seconds anyways. Assuming he can get in position. Oh.
He spots the Elda, fires into the side.
Slight bit of damage.
No, that arm is just... I think Yuna's been doing so much work at the gym with that arm. It's just, you know, doing those reps. He takes barely any damage with a 308 to the side. We'll still be live on the Maestro in the hallway, and not really much that, you know, the attackers can do in the meantime. Astro has not dropped just yet. His grenades are being lobbed into him. Take a bit more damage, but it doesn't really matter. He's still in position, and the wall is reinforced all around him. Doesn't really have to worry about much.
Well, he's finally going to drop, of course, now that the drone is dead, so they're going to assume he might be there or he might drop. The lack of knowledge about us really what's going to help, and no one's watching the skylight. He can get even healed up by the dock there if he wants to, which looks like he did. Yeah.
Yep. So, well done. There is one player above. That's the Buck, and he was, you know, he's trying to destroy the side of the wall just to find if that Jaeger is still on the side, and not really much to Ion's surprise.
They usually do that much faster earlier.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't really well timed here by BD, but Astro takes even more damage and gets picked up again by the Doc. What a helpful operator. Yeah. Team player.
Something might come in handy here is, unfortunately, the push does not come out with the phone call. That would have been the play to make, but it's really just more to get some position ideas. But that is the problem here, BD's time management. Sure, they've got 52 seconds left, but they also have yet to kill anyone. That's not boding well for them, because even when they have like a 4-2 advantage there, they still are not able to turn that into a plant most of the time.
At least they have top floor control, and now they have to be careful. Astro is waiting very close here on the stairs. He'll find one kill, an easy one on Panico. The second one, unfortunately, not fast enough, but look at the amount of damage done to GDN. Soft wall in the bathroom has been detected. You see the castle barricade will put the Habana in a very close situation here, where quick fire from the Doc will be more than enough. Unfortunately, he cannot heal himself back up, and this is huge now. That diffuser is being held up by the Doc. Huxord on the outside, and the diffuser is nowhere near the attackers. Maff will find one more kill. Yuna in the bathroom all on his own as Iblax will move on in. Quick shot from Moringa to dispatch the shield, and Yuna, again, peeking around, will find the headshot at the Alda. FaZe Clan to tie things up 5-5. Damn.
All down to time management again. Just they don't get set up for the execute until the very end, and even then, half the time the diffuser getting dropped there, that is just not a good position to be in. FaZe, all they really have to do is play patient, even when they're getting slaughtered, as long as enough of them are still alive for that diffuser to not go down. That seems to be all that matters. It's just, they're not even winning a ton of their gunfights. It's just, let's just keep as much control as possible for as long as we can, and we'll win them. I mean, so far, that is the sweep that we kind of have expected to come back here, bringing it back to 5-5. Now the question is, who's going to get to 6 first and lock in that minimum 1 point? That's going to be important for both teams here, as it's been 3 rounds in a row of FaZe winning now. Black Dragons proved they could at least win that first one, but yeah. It's going to be tricky now, though, as they have to go back to console because they won all 3 sites in a row, unless they want to go Teller's Archives, which Black Dragons were at least brave enough to do.
All right. This is going to turn into yet another tie for the evening. Only time will tell. Cameraman and the squad setting up here with similar lineup as before, right?
10 seconds to insertion.
See if Black Dragons actually... I want to say this. We've really not seen admin tanks.
It's just not been a focus at all. I mean, there has been some resources dedicated to them in terms of mirror windows, but yeah, it's definitely been the case where it's all about pressuring from the yellow stairs, the windows, trying to push in from different angles around the bomb site, but never really fighting out. It's like maybe they don't want to fight down long desk, maybe they don't want to, you know, try and play around pushing towards the projector room, but it's not impossible to take projector. It seems like something they could definitely be doing.
You're bringing the Blackbeard. You don't have to, you know, stick around the same play style as like 2 years ago.
Yeah, especially time management wise. If you want to go for a rush plant, it makes more sense to go for rush plant into projector than it does swinging in through windows and hoping smokes will cover you for that console plant.
As so far, it really hasn't been too successful. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's time to change things up.
It's time to change. Be the change you want to see.
They are going to start prep that castle. You saw the castle barricade hit by Maestro so they could set it up so if they need to rush in, and if a smoke plant attempt does come out again, this time they'll be able to turn the tables on them quickly instead of just depending on Mira.
And you saw Yuna there that had his second camera in the back pocket.
Yeah.
It's very weird that Mira's pockets are so deep that she can have that entire black mirror in the back, but still...
Rich kids.
I think that's how it works. But no setup by the admin side, as it is very clear Black Dragons are not even looking for that sort of thing. The Mira will set up in projector and still have the utility in hand just in case it is required. You might have to set it up by that connector room.
A bomb has been located. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Again, BD so slow on this take. Finally, at least have Blackbeard up on the window, but they need to clear so much utility here from FaZe before they could do anything. Realistically, the Evil Eye, for example, right there, going to be a big problem for them.
There you go. I talked about this Mira setup, and that's exactly what we're going to get. It just allows you to watch any player in the back, and because there's no Capitao, guess what? You can't burn the player out of that position, and also, you know, there's castle barricade. You can't really have an angle, so basically the Mira is in a great spot, but I do not buy this at all. Yuna will get shot down by Hugsword. I believe just peeked out and got shot by the Blackbeard. A terrible thing to do. And they also lost another Ion. Will at least get down, but GDN will find one Mav to fire in and still has control of the mirror window and a shield next to him to protect him in the hallway. This is going to turn into yet another attempt at a clutch. Astro, Superman here on the side. He takes damage and will have to fall back, but now he has to watch the hatch as Mav turns around and tries to watch the back. Astro re-maneuvers in and puts himself in the console office again. He'll find the Blackbeard. No! Hugsor turns around and eats the damage. Mav to try and all stop it, but GDN is ready. And round 11 will go the way of Black Dragons. One more left, and it can turn to a tie or a BD win.
That would be impressive. They are dangerously close, and they have already guaranteed FaZe cannot win at least. And that's a pretty big thing to accomplish here from Black Dragons. Time management was still pretty sloppy that round, but honestly it just came down to FaZe peeking into them, giving themselves the kills they needed early on, rather than forcing them to play for the defuse plant. Really, that was the opposite of what FaZe needed to be doing. I mean, I appreciate what Astro was trying to do in terms of flanking around the backside of the smoke. That was a smart play to make sure, hey, I can catch them when they think they're exposed, but Buck winning that fight.
Yeah.
That was impressive. Or not Buck, I'm sorry, it was the Blackbeard.
This is a Blackbeard just diving in from the side and eating the whole damage. I guess that's what happens when you have a shield that literally is designed to eat damage, right?
That is exactly what it's for. In that case, it just happened to work because he turned right at the right moment.
Remember the days when the animation would not load correctly, and when people dove in, you can actually see them turning, like looking at you?
Yeah, that was something that was for quite a period of time. I still feel like sometimes he doesn't, but it is, yeah, it's tricky. Unfortunately, you just always have to assume that they're probably going to be looking at you immediately.
Just assume?
Yeah. Yeah. It did. Just happened.
We'll see how this round goes through, as again, it can turn into a win for Black Dragons, or FaZe Clan can tie it all up.
It's certainly on FaZe to do so. Again, all they have to do is play for time. Like, even losing their gunfights is not the problem. So just keep that up, and you guys will get your 1 point. Over peak against BD, and well, we know how that ends.
It's all over. It's a great song. Who would have thought?
I feel like, what was it, Jazz, or is it Bumblebee, the Transformer that just always playing songs
yeah.
to talk? Yeah, that's you.
It's basically me. In a nutshell, on a shell nut. All right, we'll see how Black Dragons maneuver in this one is. Guess what? They're bringing the same operators, and that's how they're going to try to deal with FaZe Clan, and this time just switch Moringa over to the mute. So far, standard, but remember, FaZe Clan, last time they won Garage, it was all off of time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's just all we got to do. I mean, it's down to them to open up the garage. If you don't, you're pretty much telegraphing, hey, guess what, we're coming in from behind, at which point they could just play to delay. If they can tell where you're coming from, it makes it a lot easier to defend properly, not overexpose yourself.
Very smart way. That's why you're the analyst here.
All right. Get that writing.
Well, Hugzord will move in and clear from the top to bottom. Makes a lot of sense. Just need to worry about any potential roam from FaZe. We've seen it from teams like Reciprocity, for example, where the instant you think you're happy because you took part of the map as an attacker, well, suddenly the defenders reappear and roam around.
Well, Astro's been doing that consistently. You pretty much have to expect it at this point that he is going to be able to stick around upstairs as long as possible, or even rotate up if you're not holding stairs.
All right. Continue on the drone phase here for the Blackbeard. Zion will find the kill.
All right, let's Astro down early.
Spray life. All right.
Yeah, still this is a bit slow. Still working on taking the bathroom. I hear the X-Cairo is going to open up potentially the window on there. But Mav goes down next. It's looking pretty good for this. Still, a minute is not a long time when you're playing for the plant as slow as BD does. They either need to be set up for the kills or start executing faster. They have at least, this is where they've been before. However, this is maybe about 30 seconds more than they had last time, but
well done.
Can't die.
Two connecting, suddenly it turns into a 2v4, a 2v3, make it a 1v3. All up to Cameraman now as he'll try to clutch the round for FaZe Clan, but he'll get shot down. Black Dragons actually clean this one up, and we will avoid a third tie of the night. Almost making it 5, basically, at the end of the day. And
very impressive.
Yeah, that'll put it all up for Black Dragons, I have to say. I'm kind of disappointed by the way FaZe Clan won here. It's not like the rounds that FaZe Clan won were not really convincing.
Yeah. They were not on top of their gunfights today, and that was something that cost them. They were able to at least buy the time out of it, but that mostly came down to just having operators on site that were ones that could buy a lot of time with heavy rate of fires. You had the LMG and then usually the Vector as well, but that only works for so long, and kudos to Black Dragons for getting to that point where they were fighting down to the last two much earlier, about 30 seconds earlier that time. Made a huge difference. They were able to actually take the fights. Also, they won some of them. Again, more gunfights lost. Killing Yuna was the big deal because him being able to stay alive on Maestro probably would have been able to delay that out enough, but him over-peaking it again, just maybe they were trying to compensate for so many lost gunfights earlier and thinking, let's just keep peaking it. We'll eventually win some of these. And
yeah, unfortunately, that was just not enough in that situation. You overpeaked, you found one kill, the C4 connected for the second. 2v3 situation, you're kind of more flexible now.
They need to play utility, right? If you can't win your gunfights.
I don't think he had any information on the Hibana that was outside that actually had not yet dove into the garage to go for the plant, and in which case would have changed things around. Anyways, hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Of course.
I will have to test to see if, just time things, to see if Sexy Cake would have been able to find the defuse at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I want to be 100% sure that I didn't mess things up.
I would assume that he probably knows how much time it takes.
He tweeted out saying, like, you know, I messed up in the round. I should have stuck it, but I don't know. If,
Oh, I think he means the first time.
yeah.
He definitely should have stuck it the first time, but he didn't know where they were, so.
Well, I don't
fair
know
enough.
if the second time also would have worked. It was very close. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We gotta time it. We gotta time it. That's the first thing.
We get Cora Ross on it, do one of those.
Let's go Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's review the whole day. We'll take a look at the standings at the end of this Latin America play day number 5. Team Liquid at the top, 12 rounds, or 12 points, excuse me. 11 for Immortals and Ninjas in Pajamas. Black Dragons at 7, FaZe Clan at 6. The Red Devils at 4, tied with Pain Gaming, and a lonely 1 for INTZ. You know, they said it before, you know, they say 1 is the loneliest number, right? But 0 kind of is worse, so
Well,
there you
they
go.
still have 0 in the wins column, so they're the only one with 0 wins. Still, tie is still better than nothing, but yeah, this is important though for Black Dragons, is they now overtook FaZe on the leaderboard. So that's pretty impressive. They're definitely starting to pick it up a bit. So knowing what their strengths are now, hopefully in the future they can play to those instead of against those. Time management, not their strength on the attacks at least, but they are at least winning their gunfights, and that is something they can build on top of, assuming they can do that consistently.
All right, so that's it. We'll recap the day. Remind you, Immortals versus INTZ and NIP versus Red Devils ended up in a 6-6 tie. The first map was Border, the second one was Consulate, and then guess what? Went back on Border. That was Liquid versus Pain. It was a pretty painful game, to be honest. 7-1 victory for Team Liquid, and then against all odds, Black Dragons were able to take it against FaZe Clan, the #1 team technically in the region, having made it to the grand final of the Pro League Finals Season 8 on home turf in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
It's okay, they were saving strats for Invitational.
It's okay, Reddit.
It's okay.
There's always this whisper of saving strats.
They'll save them the whole season. It's fine.
It's for next year.
Yeah.
Anyways, final game, remind you, victory for Black Dragons. Anyways, that's all it for tonight. Remind you, we have 4 more games on tomorrow night. That's more Latin America coming your way. Kicks and the Dastardly Interrobang will come in. It's like Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Oh man, it's hilarious. I love that show. Anyway, I'm a kid on the inside. I don't know, man. I'm living the dream. I'm only 25. NIP versus Pain Gaming, Immortals versus Black Dragons, FaZe Clan versus INTZ, Liquid versus Red Devils. That's all coming your way tomorrow with Kickstand and Taro from all of us here. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. Good night. We love you. Bye-bye.